guests are reframing the way we perceive love, the way we talk about it. Have you ever thought of love as an artistic practice instead of a sentiment? CultureALL is here to explain what they describe as a beautiful and messy project, Art of Love. It is a collaboration between the Des Moines Arts Center and CultureALL's open book program. So the evening is going to have stops throughout the museum's galleries for stories and conversations about romantic love, but there is so much more to this conversation than really what a lot of people define as love. And joining me now, JJ Singh Kapoor, American Connection Corps Fellow, and Karen Downing, the Special Projects Consultant for CultureALL. Thank you both for being here so much.
Thank you.
I've been looking forward to this all week. And for one, JJ, unpack your story, your experience in Iowa.
Yeah.
You chose Iowa to be
did.
home. You have a very much experiencing Iowa nice in your upbringing. Tell me about your journey.
Oh my gosh, my dad took the wrong exit. I swear to God, on I-35.
It's not funny, but it's funny when you say it that way.
He really did. He was trying to get to Minneapolis, and he still calls Des Moines Des Moines. That was his first name. And ultimately, my parents arrived in Iowa right around the floods of 1993. And my mother turns to my dad and says, "What kind of hell is this? You know, this isn't heaven." You know, she gets the apocalyptic floods, there's the winter storm, but my father sees strangers sandbagging the rivers, handing out free bottles of water, and he said, "This is the place where I want to raise my family." And that was Iowa nice.
Wow. And now you intentionally work to make Iowa a nice place to live, a better place, better quality of life, especially for people of diverse backgrounds who maybe they're not from here. You know, they find themselves marginalized perhaps. Your partnership is really incredible. This is a full circle moment, because tell us about your background together.
I will. So I was a high school teacher at Valley High School, and I met JJ when he was a sophomore in one of my English classes. And of course, I mean, as you can imagine, he was a dazzling young man. And the beauty, he went off to Stanford, and we were meeting for tea once, and he said, "I think I'm going to do an AmeriCorps fellowship," which lets him come back to his hometown, a hometown fellowship. And I said, "You should go to CultureALL," because I knew I was retiring and going to work with him. So now we've been colleagues, and I think the beauty of being a teacher is being a learner and seeing your student, former student, now editing my writing, and I just am growing so much from being able to be with him again in this
You
venture.
have several things coming up. This Art of Love.
Right.
Tell us about that.
So the Art of Love, I mean, you talked about this in the intro, but I think love can be very easily reduced to some like Hollywood trope.
Yes.
And I think love is much more interesting when you look at the way in which there's effort and work, and JJ's story kind of speaks to that, but we have three people that will be sharing stories from different stages of life. So JJ is our youngest book that night. We have a woman who fell in love with her high school best friend, and that person is now her wife. And then we have another couple who've been married. They got married in their 40s. And so we have different look at love, but mainly, I mean, the beauty of open book is the conversation around the stories. And I think, why don't you talk about that a little bit? Because I think that's, and your story too. Give a sneak preview.
So, I mean, open book is a human library. People are books, like you, Samantha, and you check out a person and get to hear a chapter from their life.
I love how you describe it like that. I'm an avid reader. And
sure.
to think of it that way, it's beautiful. It's a little more complex.
It is, because it's not just the cover, right?
It's nuanced.
It's nuanced, and the chapter I tell is, oh my gosh, my models of love were my parents, who are great people, but had an arranged marriage, and Bollywood movies, which if you've ever seen a Bollywood film, it's like dancing and romancing and like getting Cupid's arrow, and you know, the protagonist rises up and wins the girl in a climactic dance sequence. Like, it's over the top. And I thought love was a performance. I thought you were supposed to win someone over, and it was this fiery arrows, but I realized love, romantic love, is different from intimacy. And intimacy is really seeing someone backstage, unvarnished,
Vulnerable.
unrehearsed, vulnerable.
Yeah.
And that's just the little chapter I tell.
Unrehearsed.
That was.
Hope you like it. I also think, you know, relationships are something beyond romantic. Any relationship in your life requires to be present and to have a reciprocation, compromise, you know, and that is the way we're wired as humans. Things turn toxic or they fall apart when you don't see the depth everyday relationships take. When is this? It's going to be February 15th?
15th at the Des Moines Arts Center. And what we're doing, you mentioned this, but the open books will be placed throughout the gallery, and they will be sitting in front of art about romantic love. So we'll have the art in conversation with these great stories that we're going to hear. But I think to your point, I think one of the beautiful things about open book is this vulnerability. So JJ will tell his lovely story that is, as you said, messy and complex, but then we'll get to hear, like, I think once people hear someone else's story, they're much more willing to open up and share their own. And so you have a community of storytellers in a small circle.
I love it.
Just all chiming in.
Real talk community building. And, you know, right around Valentine's Day, so many, you know, thoughts and opinions towards Valentine's Day, but this is a reminder love is so much more than what it kind of gets labeled as with, you know, society. And I'm just so happy to share this event with our viewers. So we will be sure to post all the information online. Thank you both for being here, and thank you for spreading light. I love it.
Thanks, Samantha.
Thanks, Samantha, very much.